So it's always been right from the time I was a child, really, from
Mm,
school. I've always had this love for words and not just creativity, but what words can do, how you can manipulate is the wrong word, but
mm,
how you can use words to change feelings, emotions, make people react just with your words, whether it's spoken out loud. There are orators and there are debaters and there are writers, but it's all using words. And
yeah.
that fascinated me. So that's how I got into journalism, loved words, loved playing around, script writing, book writing. I also did a bit of ghostwriting, about 5 books during that 17-year tenure, where after I'd interviewed personalities, sports personalities, politics, actors, the ordinary man doing extraordinary things, some of these well known personalities came to me and said, "Oh, I've always been thinking of writing a book. Will you help me?" And I didn't know of any concept called ghostwriting in those days. But anyway, we got around. I interviewed them, wrote the book, and they've been published and they're doing well. So that was my initial foray into ghostwriting. So when I went to, with my resume and marched up there and said, I'm looking for a job, they said, "Well, you've got a long career, but you don't know the people, you don't know the politics, you don't know the culture. What are we going to, we can't send you out on a story," which is what journalists do. So I started around for 9 months, not knowing what to do. And then I qualified. I did a short course in business administration and got a job in a hospital, a tertiary teaching hospital here in Perth. And however, people came to know I was still an editor, proofreader, writer. So I would get the doctors and surgeons and nurses come and slap their thesis on my desk and say, "Hey, can you just have a quick look? Hey, can you just proofread this for me?" And I wasn't charging, I was just doing it like, okay, all right, I'd do it in my spare time, my bedtime reading kind of stuff. And that just grew. Then people got to know that I was a writer and they started inviting me to give presentations on how the whole process, it's like many moving parts coming together and how the process works. And so I started this business not with a business plan, but I just jumped on stage because I was invited to and I
Yeah.
started speaking.